Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar, Crew Tools for Department Heads, Managing Your Script Breakdowns, Starting Your Budget, Adding Characters, Actors, and Photos. My name's Tao, and I'm on the support team here at Sync on Set. I have with me my colleague, Savannah, from the accounts team, who will be leading you through today's tutorial. Before we jump into that, I want to give you an overview of what we'll cover today and why we've made these updates. Today's webinar is designed for costume supervisors, coordinators, hair and makeup keys, prop masters, lead people, and gang bosses. And we'll cover learning how to manage a script breakdown, including adding scenes and shoot dates, budgeting and adding characters and actors. We'll also learn how to upload photos and view the new gallery. At the end of this year, we'll be launching a new version of Sync on Set Crew Tools, and with that, we're making some behind-the-scenes changes that will set us up for the future, allowing us to expand our solutions for productions and iterate faster on user feedback. First, you'll notice a brand new user experience. Our goal with this is to simplify the onboarding experience, particularly for productions that are working across multiple departments. Second, we've added the ability to view multiple departments and episodes together at the same time. These core changes will make Sync on Set Crew Tools much simpler for teams working on episodics. And third, you'll notice a new product switcher. This will help you to easily and seamlessly navigate between the continuity and budgeting workflows, as well as jump into our Asset Hub product. Now, while Savannah will be walking you through the demo, I'll be monitoring the Q&A submissions, so please feel free to write in with any questions as you think of them. We'll take some time to answer any questions at the end of this session. And after we finish today, we'll send you a copy of today's recording so you can review the video. Additionally, we'll send a list of FAQs, links to help articles on the new site, and a feedback survey so you can let us know how your experience was today. And again, please feel free to send in questions throughout the presentation today, which we'll leave time to answer at the end. One thing to note, we've also got a brand new help site. Go to support.synconset anytime for useful articles and step-by-step instructions. And with that, I'll pass it over to Savannah.
All right, hey everybody, and thank you so much, Tao, for introducing today's webinar. Before we get started here, I just wanted to quickly go over today's agenda. We'll mainly be focusing on the breakdown, and we'll start as if we're breaking down a new script for all of the departments. We'll walk through that. So we'll start on the My Productions page. We'll then jump into the brand new scene index. We'll then go over adding changes, looks, and props by scene, as well as by character. Then we'll take a look at adding actors. And last but not least, we'll jump into the gallery and go over uploading photos. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the website. Please just give me a moment while I switch my screen. All right, thanks so much for being patient as we jumped into the website. You're now looking at the new Crew Tools 5.0. We are on the My Productions page, which should look fairly similar to the last My Productions page. You'll notice that nothing has really changed on the bottom half of the page. You still upload your script the same way. It still pulls out the same information. However, you may notice that the top of the screen is slightly different. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll now see what we call our product switcher. If you click on that drop-down arrow, you'll notice that you can toggle between the continuity portion of the website as well as the budgeting portion of the website. Now, if your production is using Asset Hub, you'll be able to toggle into Asset Hub from this drop-down menu as well. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and click into our other new feature, which is our episode selector. So where it says episode 101, you can go ahead and click that. And one of the biggest changes with Crew Tools 5.0 is that it now allows you to view multiple episodes at once. you can see over on the left-hand side that you're able to select multiple episodes. So I'll go ahead and select 102 as well. You'll also notice that in the department selector, you can select multiple departments as well. Now, each of those departments has a little color associated with them, which you can see in line with the department title. And that will be a consistent theme throughout the website. You'll always see that color associated with that department. So we've selected into a couple of episodes, and we're also selected into multiple departments. Once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit done. And let's go ahead and actually jump right into the scene index now. I'm going to be using the Silicon Valley sample production. This has no real information in it. It's just for demo purposes. And we're going to go ahead and click right into episode 101. Okay, so we are now on the new scene index page. You'll notice that it looks slightly different. It kind of got a little facelift here. It's simplified, a little bit more clear, but it does still pull out that same information that was pulled out before. So the scene number is still pulled out, as well as any of those principal characters. And of course, you can enter in the scene description. The script location will also be pulled out. So again, fairly familiar to you if you used this in the past. The main update on this page is one of the ability to customize this table. So you'll notice down here that the table is now, you can resize the columns simply by pulling them out. And it's totally customizable, so whatever is best for you. Let's say you want to make the scene description slightly bigger, you can always pull that out here. Okay, you can also go ahead and rearrange these by dragging and dropping them. So let's say I want those principal characters over here next to the background characters. You can always rearrange them like that. The other thing that you can do is choose the columns by selecting this Choose Columns button to the left of the search bar. When you click that, you'll see a list of options for your column names. You can go ahead and select or deselect these as you see fit. Whatever is really easiest for your breakdown. Let's say you didn't want to see background characters, you can go ahead and deselect that, and you'll notice that there are fewer columns. Once you finish doing that, you can go ahead and hit done. All right, so the other thing that we can do on here is bulk update our shoot dates by clicking this little ellipses in between the Edit All and the blue Add button. Now, you might be wondering what's new about this, because we could always do this. However, with the ability to view multiple episodes at once, now comes the ability to assign scenes across multiple episodes at once. This was specifically designed for those of you who are block shooting. You'll now be able to assign scenes across the entire season to specific shoot dates. So let's go ahead and assign some now. Let's do it for the 13th. And because we are selected into episode 101 and 102, we can go ahead and add scenes from both of those episodes. You know what? I think I spoke too soon. We are just in episode 101, so this is a good little lesson here. We can go up into the episode selector and make sure we're selected into 2 episodes. Once you do that, hit done, and we can go back into the update shoot dates. We can select a date, and now we can select scenes from multiple episodes. So let's go ahead and do scene 4 of episode 2, and let's also do a scene from episode 101. All right, once you do that, you can either save and add another by clicking the plus button, or you can just go ahead and save. Okay, great. So we've now updated our shoot dates. One useful thing that we can do now is actually filter by those shoot dates by selecting this little button to the right of the search bar. When we come in here, you can select a date range and it will show you all of the scenes across those episodes in that date range. So let's go ahead and do this past week. We'll put in that date range and hit done. and it will now filter those scenes by that date range. You can also filter by a particular day. Let's say we just want to see the 13th. You can go ahead and filter by that particular day and see all the scenes, shooting then. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove those filters quickly. And now let's actually jump into a particular scene. So I'm going to filter back into just episode 1. And let's go ahead and jump into episode 1, scene 3. Awesome. So now we are on the scene view page. You'll notice that this page looks slightly different. It does have all of the same information as was in the last version of Crew Tools. However, now you'll notice on the right-hand side, there's this new sidebar. This includes all of the details for this particular scene. You can always edit that by selecting the ellipses and selecting edit. On the right-hand side, beneath the details, you'll see the option to select into your particular department. And if we had photos added in for these departments, you'd see those here, as well as beneath that, any notes. And that would also show the notes for all of the departments if they were added in. Okay? So with all of this information over on the right-hand side, it leaves more space to focus on the principal characters on the kind of main page for scene 3, as well as those background characters. And you'll notice at the very bottom, we have this props table. Now, similar to the table in the scene index, this prop table is completely customizable. You can resize those columns again simply by dragging and pulling them. You can also rearrange them simply by dragging and dropping them. You'll also have the option to choose which columns are visible by selecting this little button to the left of the blue Add button. And you'll notice you can select any of these possible column headers for your table. Okay, awesome. Now you might be wondering, I see all of my props, how do I add in costume changes or hair and makeup looks? You can always select this little back to the top button to jump right back up instead of scrolling around. And you'll notice at the top where it says principal characters, it has all of your characters listed out with a little caret to the left of them. Now, if you select that caret, you'll see all of the different departments, any of the continuity photos associated with the change or look in that department. You'll also see the change number or the look title, as well as any notes associated with that scene and that department. Okay, so that is mostly it for the scene view. Let's go ahead and actually jump right into a character view. Again, anything that appears in this blue color is hyperlinked, so it is a clickable link. I'm going to jump into Richard Hendricks, and we'll just give it a moment to load here. And now we've landed on this character view page. This should look pretty familiar. Again, it's slightly different. It does have all of that same information as was in there before. However, it also has this sidebar with any details associated with the character. So you'll see details at the top, any photos. Again, just a note to select between the different departments if you're selected into more than one. A quick note on this is that this will still be dependent upon what permissions you have. So you'll only be able to select into multiple departments if you've been added by the other department head, okay? You'll also see department notes listed out beneath those photos. And those are all the notes associated with this character for each department. Okay, now with all of this information over on the right side, it again leaves more room to look at all of the scenes that this character appears in. So you can go ahead and see all of those scenes as I scroll down. You'll also see any changes associated with the character, as well as looks for the hair department and looks for the makeup department, as well as any props for this character. A quick note on this props table is that anything with a green star is going to be a hero prop. So that's just a quick visual indicator. And again, there's this little back to top button that you can jump right up to the top and avoid having to scroll. That's especially useful if you're added into multiple departments as we currently are. Okay. So now that you've seen all the information on the character page, you may be wondering, well, how do I actually add in any information, any changes or looks? And that is going to be done. Typically, when you're doing that kind of breakdown, you're going to be in your own department, probably not selected into multiple at once. So you can go up to the department selector, and I'm going to show you how to add in a change just for the costume department to start. So we'll isolate the costume department, hit done, and you'll notice that the table has changed slightly. It's showing costume-specific information, including a little photo, as well as the change number, and any scene wear notes associated with the character in each scene. So you can always edit this information by selecting the Edit All button, and it will open up all of the fields. You'll be able to either select from the dropdown an existing change, or you can always create a new change by clicking the X button and then just typing in that change. Let's say this character has a ton of changes, and we can go ahead and create change 30 right here and now. You can also add any scene wear notes, and then once you're done, just make sure to remember to hit that save button. Perfect. So we've added that change, simple enough. And again, that change will be hyperlinked. So if you want to click on that change number, it will take you to the change view page where you can add in any additional information. I'm just going to scroll down to show you that at the bottom of this page, there is a change table for all of the changes associated with this character. You can also add in changes here, of course. It just depends on how you do your breakdown. All right, so I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm actually going to jump into the hair department now to show you how to add in a look. So I'm going to deselect costumes, select hair now, and go ahead and hit done. All right, so a very similar page here. You'll notice that it is hair specific, so you'll see any photos associated with each of the looks. You'll see the look title listed out here, as well as any look notes. Now you can again hit the Edit All button, or you can always hit the little vertical ellipses in line with the scene to edit just a specific line and click Edit. You can also select an existing look by clicking the downward facing arrow, or you can add in a new look by clicking the X and typing in a new look. I'm just going to select an existing look for now. Let's say this is a party look, because why not? Who doesn't like to party? And then you can add in your look notes here. Once you do that, go ahead and hit save, and voila. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit to show you that same look table as appeared in the change view. So you'll see all of the looks listed out here, and you can also edit those here or add in a new look there. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Give me a second here. And let's go ahead, and now we just did the hair department. The makeup department is almost identical to the hair department. So I'll just quickly click into that just to show you. And you can see that it is the exact same. If you wanted to add in a makeup look, you can always hit the Edit All button and do the same thing here. I'm not going to walk through this just so we can kind of move along here, but it is the same thing. And again, at the bottom, you will see that look table. All right, so let's go back up and do the same thing for the prop department, just so we can be fair and show all the departments. I'm going to jump into props, hit done, and awesome. So now we're in the prop department. Again, it looks very similar. You'll see the props in each of these scenes associated with Richard Hendricks. You can always edit them by selecting Edit All, and again, selecting an existing prop from the dropdown. Oops. Let's see, you can see these here. You can add it in by selecting that and going ahead and hitting save once you're done. Oops, I think we're having a little bug here. Sorry, this will not happen when it is released on the 26th. Our developers are working hard to make sure everything is sorted out by then. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page here. Just give us a second. Perfect. Okay, so it's saved in there and it's all added in. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. All right, and here we see that props table once again. You can always add in a prop specifically just by clicking the blue add button. And all you need to add in is the name. Sorry, it's showing all of my name. And you can go ahead and add the rest of the information in later if you'd like. That's of course optional. Once you're done, you can go ahead and hit create. I'm going to exit out of this just for now. And let's go ahead and let's actually add in an actor. So you may have noticed we are on the character page. However, there's no actor listed here. So to add in an actor, you're going to select the ellipses in that side bar and select edit. You'll now see the option to add in an actor. If you select the drop-down menu, you can either select an existing actor. However, I know that Thomas Middleditch plays Richard in this show, so I'm going to go ahead and actually add in a new actor because I don't see him on the list. I'll do that by selecting the blue Create Actor button, and I can now just go ahead and type in his name. And then once you do that, just go ahead and hit save. Awesome, you'll now see that actor name appearing beneath Richard Hendricks' character title. And of course, it is a hyperlinked name, so when I click on it, it will take me right to Thomas Middleditch, his page, so the actor page. You'll also notice that it has all of this actor information, as well as on the side, the contact info and any notes for that actor. Again, this is, it can be confidential or private, so this can all be viewed just depending upon the permissions that have been set. Okay, another thing to note here is that the actor can also be added from the character index as well. So that's another option. All right, let's go ahead and pop into the gallery. I'm going to click on gallery in the navigation bar at the top. And you'll notice that it looks very similar to how it looked before. We are in the untagged photos filter, so we're not seeing any photos right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and add in a photo just to show you what that looks like. So I'll hover over the gallery and I'm going to select add photos. Now you can either drag and drop a photo in here, or you can select from a file on your computer, which I will do. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my webinar and use one of these photos. Once I do that, I want to just make sure I'm selecting the department that this photo is uploaded for. So I'm going to, let's say this is a costume photo, and you can always add in tags here just by typing in the search bar. I'm going to hold off on adding tags because I want to show you how to do that from a different page. And once you're all done uploading your photo, just go ahead and hit save. Give it a second to upload, and then you should see your photo appear here. Give me 1 second to refresh the page. Okay, you know what? Let me do photos by scene. That might have just been a slight bug. That will be all worked out by the time this is released again. Okay, so we have some photos here that I can show you how to tag anyway. So let's go ahead and select this tag button. Once you hit that, you can go ahead and select the photo and then hit tag again. Now you'll notice that you can tag your photo in here. Again, you can search by anything. I want to make sure that I'm just selected into two episodes up here in the multiple episode view so that I can show you, give me a second here, you need to select the photo again so that I can show you how to tag a photo to multiple episodes at once. So I'm going to come back into this tag bar and I'm going to select a scene from episode 101. As well as a scene from episode 102. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this, of course, just comes with the ability now to view multiple episodes at once. You can also tag photos to multiple episodes. Once you're done, just go ahead and hit tag. All right, so that photo has now been tagged to multiple episodes. With that, I want to show you how you can filter by selecting this drop-down menu where my mouse is. And you can sort your photos by whether or not they're tagged, all photos by scene, by shoot date, or by character. Filtering by shoot date is new, so when you click on that, you can see all of your photos across multiple episodes just by shoot date. You'll notice that in the bottom left-hand corner of the photos, you're seeing a little colored dot. Again, remember that each department has a color associated with it, so that colored dot reflects the department that that photo has been uploaded for. This might be particularly useful for production if they come in here and they just want a quick visual indicator of which departments each photo is tagged to. So that is something to make a note of. Okay, so we covered a lot. That actually concludes the demo portion of our presentation. And just as a recap, we've got a few best practices to remember when transitioning to the new CrewTools 5.0. So just bear with me for a second as we switch back over to our slides. Okay, awesome. So let's go over some best practices. The scene index is now customizable. Just give us a second to switch back to the right slide. Okay, the scene index is now customizable. So you can go ahead and leverage that multi-episode and multi-department view for optimal organization. Just make sure a single department is selected when uploading that continuity photo or photos. And then, of course, bookmark the new Help Center. There's going to be loads of useful articles that can help guide you through getting started with CrewTools 5.0.
Thank you to everyone who submitted questions throughout the webinar. We're about to start the Q&A portion, so we want to give you a chance to write in any last questions now. While you're doing that, we want you to know that we'll get to as many questions as we can. But if your question doesn't get answered live, don't worry. We're recording all questions and we'll be sending out supplemental information following this webinar. Now it looks like all the questions have been submitted, so let's get started. So someone wrote in saying, budget was mentioned in the promo, but I didn't see it covered. Are there big changes afoot in the budget and tracking section of Sync on Set?
That is a great question. So we can actually jump back into the website and I can go ahead and show you what budgeting looks like now. Give me a second here to share my screen again. Okay, awesome. So we're back on the My Productions page in here. We can go ahead and take a look at budgeting. One thing to note is that when you do that, you do want to be selected into a single department. Let's just go into costumes for now. Let's be in episode 101. And then we can use the product switcher in the upper left-hand corner to jump into budgeting. And you'll see that it looks very familiar. It is the same as it was before. Oops, I'm so sorry. Give me a second here. Looks like I spoke too soon. Let me refresh. Sorry about this, guys. Give it a second to load here. Okay, you know what? It looks like we're running into a slight bug. Again, this will be all sorted out by the time this is released. I'll just let you know what it will look like. It will be the same. There have been no major updates to budgeting and money tracking as of yet. But we can certainly take a look at that further if you'd like to. If you want to just write in as well, we can do a personalized little demo. Okay, let's jump over to the next question.
Thanks for that, Savvy. Someone else wrote in saying, can I still update scene information from the scene view page instead of the breakdown?
That is another great question. And yes, you can absolutely do that. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this now. So I'm going to jump into scenes. I'm going to select a particular scene. And then to edit the scene information, you can go ahead and select the ellipses in the upper right-hand corner of the sidebar. Select Edit, and it will then allow you to edit one scene at a time. Once you're done, just make sure to hit Save. All right, let's jump to the next question.
Thanks again for that, Savvy. Another user wrote in asking, what if a new scene is added and it affects all my change numbers? How can I adjust them without losing all my associated notes?
That is another great question. So this is going to be a case of incrementing and decrementing. So what we can do is actually jump into a character page, and I'll show you exactly how this works. So let's click into Richard Hendricks. Make sure that we are in the costume department. And we can scroll down to that change table here at the bottom. And let's say a new scene is put in and we need room for another change one. So what we want to do is increment all of these changes and change one to change to, and all the subsequent changes need to be incremented as well. We can do that by actually selecting the ellipses in line with the change, selecting edit, and then using these up and down arrows to increment or decrement accordingly. In this case, we want to increment, so we'll hit the up arrow, and you'll notice that all of the subsequent changes have been updated as well. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and hit save, and you'll now be able to add a new change 1.
All right, another user asked, can you have multiple budgets? Give me 1 second. Another user asked, can you have multiple budgets, i.e. first pass, second pass, and final budget? And along with that question, tagging along on that, can you also set up a labor budget?
All right, so we're getting some really good questions today. We actually only allow to have one budget. So unfortunately, you don't have multiple budgets here, but if you do want to create a labor budget, you can go ahead and add that as a field in the miscellaneous budget category. So thank you for asking that question. That was a great one.
Cool, thanks for that, Savvy. Someone else also just wrote in asking, will actor information still be private?
Good question. Yes, actor information as well as research or fitting photos will still be a permission set for each user.
Great, and we have one last question here. Will the script import still function as it did before?
Awesome. Another great question to finish up on. The answer to this is yes, the script import has not changed. You can go ahead and just upload the script as you always have in the past.
All right, so it looks like that's all the questions that we've received today. But remember, if you can think of any questions that you have now, or if you have any questions that you have in the future, remember, you can always reach out to us via the chat function of our website, by email or by phone, and we'll be happy to answer your questions that way. Again, send us a chat, email us, or give us a call. And thank you to everyone who took the time to join us for today's webinar. We know many of you are longtime users of Sync on Set, and we appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed this session and learned a lot about Crew Tools 5.0. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via the normal communication channels, chat, email, or phone. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday.